This is the first day in like a week or at least a few days that I haven't felt like unaliving someone. Let's pull some tarot about it. In case it wasn't obvious, that is a complete joke. I have not wanted to unalive anybody. It's just been really stressful, but today's been a really good day. The tarot advice for today is saying that somebody here just is like feeling better and is, you know, feeling a little bit, probably like me, feeling a little bit better compared to the way that they've been feeling. And so they are basically putting on the rose-colored glasses again and considering someone from the past as an option when they shouldn't be considering them as an option. You're forgetting how absolutely terrible they were. You're putting them on a pedestal and you're only remembering the good things, but were the good things actually really that good? No. Okay. It's easy to believe that when you're dating a narcissist and you're susceptible to that, but they're not as good as what they think they are. So you should also stop thinking that they're as good as what they think they are, because if you really think about it, you'll remember how badly they made you feel about yourself and how badly they made you feel about you and your life and the decisions you made. It made everything about them. They're not great, sweaty. It's awesome that you're not feeling depressed anymore, and it's sort of like starting to get like a break from the depression. It's awesome that you're starting to feel like you can come out in the open, like kind of like you can breathe for the first time in a while. That don't mean that it's time to go back to the ex. I know we're in Mercury retrograde and all, and like Venus retrograde is about to end, but like we ain't revisiting to revisit trashy, terrible exes. We're revisiting to move on from them, right? Don't consider them as an option. They weren't your soulmate yesterday. They're not your soulmate today, okay? It doesn't matter how hard you try to convince yourself that they're great or they've changed or that maybe you were just the problem. Stop that. Stop it. Because they haven't changed. And you're not the problem, okay? Now, I'm not saying you're innocent. Like, everybody contributes to a mess. You know, it takes two to make a toxic relationship, but it takes one to leave, and you're the one, okay? So for some of you, there's, like, this anxiety behind feeling like you're running out of time, right? Like, you feel like you're losing the moment. You feel like you're losing the opportunity, and that you've been carrying on in something for way too long. We talked a little bit about this yesterday, picking up way too much along the journey and it weighing you down and sinking the ship. And so some of that stuff just needs to be put down. Some of it needs to be put away. Some of it was meant to be kept in the past, and you are having to revisit it right now because you still haven't let it go. And I know it's a lot easier said than done to let it go. It is. We had a whole tarot reading video about opening your heart back up and like letting the hurt in so that you can move on. You still got to do that. You have to let the hurt in. I know it sucks, and I know it's like, damn, like nobody wants to hurt, and like how many times am I gonna have to hurt before I finally move on? Well, you ain't moved on. It's like you haven't told yourself fully that like these things that have hurt you, like we talked about it just a little bit ago, these things that have hurt you, these things that like have done you wrong, or these people that have done you wrong, like you're still in some way accepting that they could be a possibility for you, and you can't. Okay, you got to just scrub that out your brain. They're not for you. They aren't. You would be losing a piece of yourself to try and change yourself to be a fit for them, and you're not going to change them. They're not going to change, not unless it's on their own. It happens sometimes where people change and then come back together later on, but like that's going to happen when you stop considering them as an option, because as long as you're considering them as an option, you're only considering the old them as an option. You haven't taken the time to consider a new them as an option because they haven't changed and you haven't let go of the old them. If you let go of the old them and then you both let go of each other and you part ways and they change, when they come back in, it's going to be a brand new option. It's going to be something completely new. So it won't be what you were once holding on to. And even if that were to happen and you were still holding on to the old them, then you wouldn't be satisfied with the new them, even if they had changed and become worthy of you all of a sudden overnight, because you haven't let go of the old them. So you're setting yourself up for failure by holding on to this person, because you're either going to continue to hold on to them and consider them an option whenever they don't deserve you, or you're going to continue to hold on to an old version of them to where if they actually come to a point where they deserve you, you're not going to be able to accept it because you're used to the old them. Some of y'all have lost touch with your intuition. Some of y'all have lost touch with your gut. And you have become really defensive, right? Defensive with your gut, defensive with your intuition. And you're almost convincing yourself that that's the anxiety. But no, the anxiety is that side of you that's being very combative right now, being very defensive right now, putting up lots of guards, but then also like taking down the ones that should really stay up. You got to tap back into that inner voice, that voice in your gut. Right now, it may be easy to listen to all this up here because that's what anxiety does, right? It talks louder than anything else and it demands attention. But your intuition is in here. And right now they're only able to whisper through all the noise. But if you can focus on that, then the whisper will turn into a roar and the rest of the noise will start to die down. If you'd like to book a reading with me, you can go to the link in my bio. Hope this message aligns. If it aligns with you, it will find you. And if it doesn't, keep scrolling. It costs $0 to mind your own business.